What kind of tissue do you use? When we think of tissue, we think of the material that keeps our shit where it should be. Well, the tissue that I'm talking about right now are the fibers that make up those muscles that you work so hard to build in the gym for hours on end. But this isn't the only tissue that's present in our body or that plays a position in our growth and performance. We move in various different ways, and the mechanics of how we do that are pretty complex. But don't worry, I'll spare you the deets. Our bones, which are the calcium based sticks that hold our meat sacks into shape, are connected by tendons. Tendons attach to the bone and are more of a rubber band like material in a way, and they stay lubricated by the tension and collagen that binds them into the muscles. Now, muscles are full of blood and are very prone to rips, tears, and repair, which give you those gains you're looking for and the booties you're looking at. Looking at this, we can see a process of pliability to rigidity when you go from muscles to bones. The fact that muscles move so much is because they have a ton of fluid in them and they can't connect to the bone, so that's why you have the connective tissue. That is your tendons and ligaments. Now, the big difference between these two is that connective tissue isn't as pliable as muscle tissue. This is because of the job it has to do. Mainly, when we see injuries that happen, it's in the connective tissue because of the insufficient hydration and mobility to keep the connection between the rigid bodies and the muscles that you've been pumping up and making stronger every day. This puts extra stress on the tight rubber band like material, and then bam, it snaps or it rips. The pliable and fluid filled muscle tissue tears and rips are good because that's what gives us muscle growth as well as many of our other performance benefits. This is what we look for because the muscle tissue has the ability to be fed nutrients like protein, glycogen, and all other good stuff you need to put in your body for muscle repair. The con to all of this muscle growth is increased workload capacity and tension that can be stored, which in turn pulls harder on the tendons. As you become stronger and your muscles become more beastly, it's important to maintain mobility and pliability to reduce stress tension in the connective tissue so that while you're moving your beautifully toned meat sack, you can do so gracefully and injury free. Check out my mobility routine to help increase range of motion and decrease the stress tension on that connective tissue. This will also help you make the most of your work you've been putting into your tissue and clean your shit up by utilizing all the tissue in your person. Understanding the ways we clean up our movements and our functionality will ultimately increase the efficiency of how we utilize our bodies. We are made up of multiple systems. Now, as far as we start to look into this, we're not analyzing it to focus on each of these movements, each of these parts, but the more we know and the deeper these layers go, if we are just looking at ourselves as single ply human beings, that is what we will see ourselves as, and that's how we will function. If we increase that lens and increase that layer to 2 ply, to 3 ply, to 4 ply, to 5 dimensional, if we start to look at ourselves and the way that our bodies function on these different levels and understand the systems that are at work to play in our effective and efficient bodies and take on all the tasks that we put onto it each and every day, it will be less likely that when something comes along and is affecting our physical body, whether it be an ailment, an injury, a disease, whatever it may be, we will be able to see exactly where that functionality comes from. So, understanding these different levels of these beautifully, magnificently structured meat sacks that we are had the honor of embodying, this will allow us to look a little bit deeper into the ply that we are so that we can apply more to our life.